Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be continuing our CollectA 2023 reviews with this new theropod dinosaur, the Ceratosuchops. When I first saw images of this figure, I immediately loved it a lot. It became one of my most hyped CollectA models for this year. The sculpt and coloring were very appealing, and it's just so fantastic to see more spinosaurids being made into model form. Now, Ceratosuchops was described fairly recently back in 2021, and we all know that CollectA, being extremely awesome as always, likes to choose prehistoric species that are very obscure, underrepresented, and recently discovered. Let's do some quick measurements with the flexible ruler. From head to tail, this dinosaur is about 9.5 inches long, and for a height, it's a little under 3 inches tall at the hips. Estimates put Ceratosuchops at about 27 feet long, so with those measurements, this model would fit perfectly into the 1/35 scale. Starting off with the head sculpt, it's very good. It looks like your typical spinosaurid with the pointy crest and the very long and narrow snout. Now, one issue is that there is no tooth notch. All spinosaurids are known to possess this feature, and skeletals of Ceratosuchops have the tooth notch. Now, despite being a standard figure, this has an articulated jaw, and it works very well, and it doesn't look as weird as, say, the deluxe Baryonyx. Now, the teeth are nicely sculpted. You can see each individual teeth, but when you look inside the mouth, there is no detailing at all. It's just straight up smooth, especially in the upper jaw, and in the lower jaw, there is no tongue. But the lack of the tongue and detailing can be excused since this is a smaller standard sized figure and the skull is quite narrow. Moving down to the arms and legs, the arms are very large and muscular, and there's the giant claw on the first digit that spinosaurids are known for. And the legs are also quite muscular, and you can see that there is no base, unlike some of the previous CollectA theropods. Now, they actually don't look too oversized. I mean, they're a little bit oversized, but they're not as bad as, say, the 2021 Neovenator and Dilophosaurus. The underbelly detailing looks pretty good. Of course, on most dinosaur figures, the underbelly is usually where detailing is omitted. It's usually smooth, but it's not the case with this Spinosaurid model. Of course, across the figure, there are some crispy scales with some smudging, and it goes all the way down the tail. There is also one row of dorsal spikes, but I'm glad that they're small and not too spiky and exaggerated like the deluxe Spinosaurus from last year. The paint job consists of a black striping, light gray as the primary color, red-orange crests, some pink on the dewlap, and a white underbelly. As I've said earlier in the review, the paint job is just phenomenal. Black always looks great with the lighter colors, especially when it's a black striping. The pose is quite simple. It is called Ceratosuchops fishing after all. You can't really expect a more active pose from a fishing animal. And you can see that the dinosaur actually looks like it's searching for fish at the riverbank. Starting off with our comparisons, let's bring in some CollectA Spinosaurids. Here is the deluxe swimming Spinosaurus, which is a good figure, but I don't like all of the exaggerated spikes. Also, this figure is pretty much outdated due to a recent paper that showed Spinosaurus was more terrestrial than aquatic. Also, those papers show that Spinosaurus had a more rounded shaped sail, and there was no dip in this area. So hopefully PNSO can bring out an updated Spinosaurus in the 1/35 scale. I mean, with all these new reconstructions, like seriously, what is Spinosaurus at this point? And let's bring in the deluxe Baryonyx and the standard size Baryonyx. And here's the Ichthyovenator from 2014, which is just not that great. If you look at it from the top, the hips are massive. CollectA also did an Irritator, which I might get, but I probably won't. I'm just going to wait for Safari Ltd or PNSO to make a good one. Now let's move on to some PNSO Spinosaurids. We've got 3 species so far. Here is Essian the Spinosaurus. Like I've said before, hopefully they can do a bigger one with the updates. Here is Chongzu the Sinopliosaurus, which should have been called Siamosaurus. And here is Dabo the Suchomimus, which is one of my favorite PNSO models. Next, here is the Safari Ltd Spinosaurus, Baryonyx, and Suchomimus. Here we have the Schleich Spinosaurus and Baryonyx. Here is the classic Papospinosaurus, clearly based on the one from Jurassic Park 3. Here is the limited edition Spinosaurus, which is more scientifically accurate. And here is this hideous kaiju that Papo claims is a Baryonyx. Lastly, for Spinosaurid figures, here is the second version of Nanmu's Spinosaurus. Here are all of the dinosaurs from the Wessex Formation, and surprisingly, all of the figures are from CollectA. We've got the Neovinator, the Mantellisaurus, the recently released Brysonius, and the awesome Deluxe Iguanodon. Now, the Spinosaurid remains that were once attributed to Baryonyx are now attributed to Ceratosuchops and the other Spinosaurid, Ripperovinator. Let's bring in the Beast of the Mesozoic 1/35 scale Tyrannosaurus. Last but not least, here is the Ceratosuchops next to the CollectA Xiphactinus and the CollectA Mini Xiphactinus. Well, there you have it, everyone. That was my review on the CollectA 2023 Ceratosuchops. Overall, I really enjoy this model, especially the paint job and the sculpt. It has a pretty good size for the standard range. The material is also made out of a more solid material, which allows the paint to stick to the model better rather than the rubbery, waxy material that CollectA uses for some of their previous figures. The feet are a little oversized, but that's just a minor issue since the feet are not enlarged to a great extent. So I'm going to give this Ceratosuchops a 9 out of 10. It's now one of my new favorite CollectA models from this year. If you want this figure for yourself, you can buy it off of Minizoo. I have no idea when Everything Dinosaur or D. Jenkins are going to get the new CollectA figures. So if you guys enjoyed this review, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe. It really supports my channel. And I will see you all in the next video.